That sound familiar to anybody? This is a 2019 Chevrolet Blazer that when it's off in the park mode will have a shift to park message. Oh, there it went off. So with it in park, I was going to say your customer would complain or your client would complain, but maybe this is your own vehicle. Let me back this off a little bit here. The light's not as good, but it's easier to see a larger picture. So you put your shifter in park, and you go to get out, and let me see if I can just recreate it here, maybe. You end up with this ding, 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 and the shift to park message stays on, but it's in park. And if you get out and shake, wiggle, and rattle the shifter, you can actually reproduce it. You can actually get it to stop, not reproduce it. It's been a long day. Okay, so you're driving along and you put it in park, and let's see if I can reproduce it here. Was just doing it, I promise. I wasted a minute of your day. You can fast forward to the fun stuff, to the interesting stuff. Anyhow, okay, so what you get. Sorry to waste so much of your time here. Let's just do this quickly. So if you've got it dinging like that, and it is in park, GM has a repair for you. Let's see. All right, well, now this one's going off. Okay, so that's okay. So what this is there's several things it can be. It can be just, worn out shift indicators and sensors, but there is a sensor in here that is not seating, or what we're going to try here. The wiring harness is under some tension, and not it's pulling back on that switch under tension. This is the second one I've done, so we'll remember together how to do this one again. This one's a 2019 Chevrolet Blazer, and it's only got 16 somewhat thousand miles, but the parts are inexpensive. It's just a little bitty harness you can buy yourself, right there. If when we do it in the shop and we put this in for our shop, we're going to warranty it for 3 years or 36,000 miles. So we are going to sell it to you for more than what it cost us. That's just kind of like buying the warranty program there. And but if you want to do this yourself, it's just a little bitty short harness, and I've got it laying around here somewhere because I was just looking at it. So let's just jump to the pictures. And you can fast forward to this whole thing to get to the nitty gritty, especially if you're doing this for a living. You don't care about all this crap. You've already done this. Pardon my French here. I got chewed out by a commenter that didn't like that I didn't do all the step by step stuff on something we posted. And you're just being really nasty for it, and for not putting some stuff in there. And I thought, man, I did say that. So I went back and looked at the video. Sure enough, it was in there, and I figured he had just hopped through the video and overlooked it. So I sent him back that, hey, it is actually in there, and he didn't even comment back to say, oh man, sorry, I was being nasty. So if you hear contempt in my voice, I'm a little miffed for taking time to do this to help you guys out, and not getting thumbs up and not getting likes and subscribes and things like that. I don't ask for you to send me money or anything, just, a little appreciation. Or if you don't like it, anything nice to say, just move on. Okay, I'm done venting. I'm in a better mood now. Thanks for listening. All right, so this is this little bitty harness. It is literally this long, and it is, I've got it around here somewhere, maybe sitting out there. So this is back underneath the shifter. This is a technical service bulletin. We get this off of our GM site that we're subscribed to, but Mitchell probably has it, AllData probably has it, Identifix has it, Google may have it. So that is your bulletin. And this is a new bulletin here on this one. There's some older ones out there you can find as well, but I just noticed that one's brand new. So what are the odds? Oh yeah, this bulletin replaces 18NA297. Please disregard. But they're very similar. So intermittent shift to park message displayed while vehicles in park, and it goes ding, 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 and it'll actually run the battery down if you ignore it. So you see this one here covers, looks like what, 2016 to 2019 Malibu, 2019 Blazer, 2018 to 2019 Traverse, 2016 to 2019 Volt, your EV vehicle there, and then your Acadias, both the GMC versions and the Holden versions, 17 and 19 and 19 and 19, all engines, all transmissions. Probably, I believe it's all drivetrains too, 4-wheel drive. And here's all your regions, yada, yada, yada. Again, if you don't like this, fast forward it. Some people really actually like this information. Please comment. Say, hey, I like it, or you don't like it. I'm still going to do this because better to have too much information than not enough, because you can always fast forward past this junk. So some of these are real easy to do. Some of these are a pain in the butt. Let's find out on this one. I think this one's going to take about a half an hour to an hour to do, especially holding the camera. I don't have my my light and my camera holder, or even my eyeglass camera either. It's all someplace else. So, but I gotta get this done today. So here's your opportunity to look at it. So there'll be a lot of one-handed stuff, and I'll fade in and out. This is not a 2019. That is not a Blazer. That is, looks like an Acadia. But it's all going to be similar, and I'll show you in the video how this Blazer works. Your stuff may be different. Please don't chew me out. You see all the different year models this technical service bulletin calls or covers, so I'm going to put that in the description, which may have led you here. So it may be different than what we do today. See, these cup holders are sideways. These cup holders are here on this one. I'm pretty sure this is an Acadia, and an older, probably a 17 or 18 Acadia that they're using here. So the plug we're going to go after is actually on the back side. So this is the back side of the shifter. It's going to be right there. That is the plug where it goes in. And these things are under tension, and see how it's bending 90 degrees, and it pulls on the wires and it pushes that switch over, and they think that's what it does. The last one I did, the only other one I've ever done, it did fix it. After several follow-ups, they said it was happening a couple times a day. It's not doing it anymore. So we'll try this one here. Here's some labor suggestions. I'm going to call these suggestions because they don't cover if there's a whole bunch of junk in the center consoles. I'm going to take these pieces out of my way. Center console. I think I can leave that there, but if I don't, I have to clean all that stuff out and put it in a box on the floor and then put it all back in. So, yeah, there you go. So it just takes more time, and they got to test drive it, got to verify it, got to see if it fixes it. Because if it doesn't fix it, it'll still do it. Then we have to go to the next step about replacing switches and things, and that is not as easy as just doing this. If you got to do switches, you got to take the whole shifter out. In some vehicles, these switches are only coming as an assembly in the whole shifter for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And this being 2021, you may not be able to get the parts right now. So just FYI. But this is a inexpensive thing to do. If you do it in the shop, it's 150, 200 bucks. By the time you get parts and labor and all that for hours of labor, probably less than that. If you do it yourself, it's just hour or two of your day. If you don't break anything. And, I don't know, probably $5 to $20 for the parts. All right, move on, he says. All right, so we're moving on. So here they said they modified a version to remove the Camaro model. That's right. That's what was on the older bulletin. Was the 2019, was it? I think it was actually older back Chevrolet Camaro. So if you have a Camaro, they say this isn't going to help it. Sorry. And we're back to page 1. So there's the technical service bulletin. Let's, what do you say we get this thing, show on the road and get this thing apart? Show you how this all works. Biggest question I ever get, how do I take the shifter knob off without destroying it all? We'll cover that. That might be worth its weight in gold. All right, thanks for watching. Let's go on here. Okay, I went and popped the shifter knob off here. It's really hard to see from with the boot on in the way. The boot here clips onto the shifter right here. So if you pull tabs back just a little bit on each side, as this is sitting, you have to do it from underneath as you pop this up here. And again, you have to grab this, jiggle it up. There's 2 harnesses here. Don't rip it out of there. You've got one here. You can see the little green release tab right there. You're going to push that in and gently wiggle it down. Here you've got this one here. You push it on this one right here. And if you'll just smash them with your finger, oops, sorry. If you'll smash them with your finger or a pair of pliers very gently, do not break it. You need to use it, otherwise you'll be driving on the road. This will slip out and you'll have a new problem. So don't break these clips as you go through this whole process. and slide it on down, and out it'll come. The shift knob release is up underneath here. Once you get these harnesses off, you can raise up the boot. The knob will not fit through the boot. So I'm going to get this the rest of the way off, and then I'm going to show you how to release the knob. I'll show you one piece here. This may be all you need if you do this every day. This is your release clip. If you'll push it, got a little white or green paint there from the factory. If you'll push that back with a screwdriver or a seal pick or something ever so gently, don't even take it out of the way. Same thing on this side. Just enough to release it. This will slide right off, and your piece there just slides right in on the connector side on both sides. Nice and shiny. Don't twist or anything to break those off, and don't try and get this plug out. If you broke it off already, sorry, you should have watched the video, gone slower. Okay, you don't have to take any part of the knob apart. Clear as mud. Alright, let's get this the rest of the way off here, and then I'll go over it some more on the shifter knob, since that's the number one thing I get asked about. There are no screws inside this. There's just a little, what do you call it, catch tray or whatnot that drops down in there to go on there. That's all it does. So no screws there. It's only clips that hold this dude on, and of course your wiring harness. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, I went ahead and popped off the top piece here, and I kind of jumped. I took it off the rest of the way. I went and popped the shifter off, or the knob off, because the number one question is how to get the knob off. And I'll have people send me pictures of the knobs all taken apart, and you don't have to take this knob apart. It's not necessary. If you do, clip it back in and move on. Be gentle with it. This wiring is kind of fragile, so be careful with that. But to get to the point, this metal clip right here, if you'll pull it back just enough to loosen it up, this will come off, and when this comes off, it'll pull this out with it. So there's no clip or release there. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, just be gentle and careful. If you're a guy wrenching in the shop, you didn't find it in Identifix, Mitchell, All Data, whatnot, because they're not good at instructions on that, as you know. Here's how you do it. This is probably the rest of it. You won't even need to watch the rest of the video unless you know about popping clips and stuff. You know what you're doing there and popping these covers off and stuff. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you don't do this that often. I'm not beating you down. I'm proud that you're trying to do it. If you get over your head, please stop and consult a professional. Don't cost yourself a lot more money if not necessary. So anyhow, pull this clip back just a little bit. Just a little screwdriver. Get up in here. I get behind here, and I push back on both sides. You can use a seal clip and be successful. And then this will just wiggle right up. And, don't twist it, of course, because you don't want to bust it out of there. Just don't yank it off. Use some control, and that'll come right off. And just put it in a nice, secure spot where you're not going to be stepping all over it and stuff. All right, let's get the rest of this thing apart. Okay, next piece here are these two trim covers here. If you'll just put your fingers on here just like this and just give them a little tug, they pop right off. There's this one, which gives you access to this screw, and we'll cover those screws over and over and over for those that hop through the video and cuss me out later because they're not paying attention. And here's the other one on this side. It's that easy, and there's the other screw right there. Yep, I just got off a video earlier, and somebody was responding, just tearing me up about something. And I was like, hey, you must have popped through the video because I clearly talked about that. And so, of course, they don't respond back and say, oh, sorry for blowing up on you. Sorry I was being an idiot. I just wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to say it over and over and over. So if I sound a little flustered, I'm not mad at you. I'm just a little flustered at trying to help people, not charging you nothing, taking my time to do this. Yes, I have to do the job anyhow, but it takes me 2 or 3 times longer to just hold a camera, or because I don't have a tripod today, to do this. Plus, there's probably, a couple hours worth of editing. So, I don't know. Anyhow, trying to help you. Here you go. So now we're going to take these 4 screws out right here. We're going to go over it over and over. There's this one here. We'll cover over that. There's still no screws underneath there. And we're going to pop it free. We have that. We'll lift this up. And this will pop up from this side. And there's some clippies along here we're going to have to pop free. And we'll talk about popping this up here and what's involved, getting that up so you can get access to that plug that's down here on this one. Again, buy the new plug first if you're going to change it yourself, so you know what it looks like, and then go looking for it. And we'll go back over the technical service bulletin here in a minute. They are not all the same to do. I'll keep saying that over and over and over. There's 5 or 6 different models on this one here. And I'm sorry, I'm not getting right to the point on this like I said I would. Hell, look. Blazer, Malibu, Traverse, Volt, Acadia, and Acadia Holden, which you won't see that much around here. It's going to mostly be, of course, you can see the same words in the world. And then GMC Acadia, Chevrolet models there. The 2019, 2016, 2018, 2016, 2017, 2019. 2019. All. Like I said, they are not all in the same place exactly. They're not all exactly the same to do. They are in different spots. And they'll tell you that here on these other pages, the bulletins. And I'll give you the bulletin number over and over and over. And there are different places to do. Some are easier, some are harder. In the Blazer, it says 3/10 of an hour to do. I mean, if I'm in here rushing, hauling butt, but I'm still not going to break anything, I'm going to do it right, it's going to take me a solid half hour, plus test driving and verifying repairs. So, I mean, if you brought this into the shop and said, here, do it, and I had the parts here, if you were going to wait on it, it's going to probably be 1 to 2 hours, because I'm going to take my time, I'm going to clean everything. You know, this one here had everything in the world in the center console and stuff. So, you know, there's 5-6 minutes whatever to clean all that out and put it all back in. And that was full of stuff, and there's chargers plugged in. I'm going to put everything back where I found it, so you don't even know I was there. And that's going to take time to do. So that's the thing. If you're taking it to a shop to get done, and you know this is the area they're working, clean it out. Clean your car. Vacuum your car. I'm going to give it back to you as clean or cleaner than you gave it to me. So whatever that's worth. But anyhow, we covered popping those off. Let's get this centerpiece off, and let's keep going, guys. Okay, we're going to pop this top piece off here. You got a screw here. There's one on the other side. This is 7mm. There's one on the other side that's very tight. You can use a wrench to get it broke free and get it out enough that you can use your fingers. I use a 7mm, which you'll see me talking about and using, and maybe I can get the focus a little bit better later. Okay, so anyhow, there's one there. There's one here and one here. You gotta get these 4 out, and then we're gonna pop this top piece out. I popped this little rubber mat out of here just to show you there is a cover here. There's nothing underneath except access to the shift cable. No need to pop that out. You don't have to waste your time if you don't want to. This will probably fall out, so you might just pop it out. Oops. Anyhow, if it pops out, I'll put it back in. Anyhow, they are kind of fun to fish out. Oh, this one's actually not too bad. Okay, so we'll leave that out. Let's get these screws all out here. Just remove it, pop it out. And next we're going to pop this piece here up. We have this sitting in here. This here. So these are held down with clippies, retainer clips. Good luck, right? Kind of jiggle it back and forth. There goes one. And I already popped the other screw out on this side already. I popped the side panel off just to make it easier to get in there and get to it. You don't have to take the panel off, but it lets me get my fingers in there and pop this out. Okay. And then take these 2 screws out here. Same thing, 7mm. There's probably like a little rubber cover over that. And I'm kind of jumping ahead as I record. This harness here, once you pop these off, has to come out and drop out. When you go to put this back on, capture these 2. Don't lose them, or you'll have to fish them out of there. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes you have to take the whole thing back apart again. So don't be that guy or gal or person. Alright, let's get this the rest of the way off here. Right. Sure thing. Alright, see that clip right there? There's another one right underneath there that has to get popped out. I'm going to set you down here and pop these out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am right back. So you had to grab these things, and you've got to firmly but gently jiggle and jiggle and jiggle and pull, and you'll get a snap and crackle. Sounds like Rice Krispies. And this will all pop out. This stuff back here, when it comes out, these drop, these outside tangs, there's two on the other side as well, pop into these tangs here. These inside ones are all these little tangs here. That one's probably actually been off before. And this one here, they all see they just want to drop into there. Take the time to line them back up and they go back in. And there's more clips here. So you see these clips on the back, and hopefully down here you can see some more of these clips. These are what you're trying to get out. There's, okay. Also, this plug here, there's a little hole that I'll show you a little bit later along that has a release in the side. I don't release those because they're a pain in the ass to get off. I find you can actually lift this thing up. I'm not going to do it with just one hand, but one hand has to hold that harness from underneath here really well. As far as how-to videos go, I'm trying to get to the point because many of y'all complain I take too long to go over all these details, including the car apparently. You'll pick this up and you'll spin this to your left, to the driver's side. And when you spin it, you hold that firmly. Don't let it pull on that plug or you'll rip the wires out and you will make a lot of aggravation for yourself. And this is trapped inside here. Right, that little lip. Your goal is to get this up over there. So you have to gently lift up and spin while holding that harness with your other hand so you don't put any tension on the end of that plug. You don't, even when you're holding it, you'll never have to put a lot of tension on it. But you do need to manipulate this edge over that, and the whole thing. Let me drop back to a different screen here. Worse light, but wider picture. So when this comes out, it'll turn sideways and pop out, and then just leave it off to one side. And then when you jump out, your target's right down here. This is where your plug is on the Blazer. Some of these things are really easy to do. This one's one of the more difficult of the versions. The Malibu's real easy. And some of the other ones that are on the technical service bulletin for this, for 2019 Chevy Blazer, is what we're in today. So if yours is different, easier, harder, don't jump in here, cussing me out, and being all nasty and stuff. All right, this is 30 plus years in it for me, and they're all different for all different reasons. I didn't design them, I didn't drive them, I didn't break them, but we do fix them. Okay, so that's that part of it here. We'll get this off here, and then we'll jump back in there and visit on that harness. Like I said, I'm going to raise this up, stick my hand underneath there. With my right hand, I'm going to grab this harness right there. This harness, that doesn't do any good, does it? I'm going to grab this harness, and I'm going to hold it here, so I'm lifting up, so this has no tension on it. And I'm going to rotate this whole thing to the left and pop it out. It's not that hard to do. So, because I don't show it to you, doesn't mean it can't be done. All right. Okay, so I got this twisted here. This piece is that's what I was trying to get undone, that plug right there. It takes a really small tool to go into the left side of the body there to release it. I was not able to release it easily, so I very carefully held it with one hand while I manipulated this out, turning this from here sideways, popping this edge over this lip right here. It will not take too much force to damage that piece right there. So that little hole on the left is where the release tool is. I chose not to, and I maintained a firm grip on the wiring harness there, that harness there, to make sure that there was no tension being placed on that. So it's very doable. If you yank hard and crank it hard, you will break things. Also on the shifter knob, get a better view of it now. I'm going to get this pop back in, and then we'll go back to the releasing the shifter, because that's probably the one I get the most questions on, is how to get the shifter head off. Okay, now once we got this piece out, the top cover, and again, here's the plug we're going after to replace it with this harness. And again, that part number is the 847-33196. So, I'm going to release that. It's going to keep telling me that the battery's getting low. This one here, I'm actually going to tighten up all these pins before putting it into this piece. And then I'll plug this in and follow the instructions for the technical service bulletin that say make sure you route it in such a way that the wiring is not twisted or kinked in a 90-degree position. So we'll route it around where it feels nice and smooth, because it does move forward and backwards with the shifter. Okay, we've got it tightened up these pins. Got to just use a really small needle, and you very gently close up the pins a little bit. If you can't reach them, just leave them alone. Don't even try and take that apart to release the pins, because if they fall out of place, you'll be coming back to this video to see what color wires and lines, stripes went into which part of the plug. Better yet, don't do it. Alright, take this, line it up, snaps right in, and then this piece is going to go in, indexed, looks like this way. Okay, and then we're going to carefully zip tie this thing in place so it is not kinked or bent at 90 degrees. So I'm going to take a few minutes to play with that. Ensure the jumper harness is not twisted or kinked in a 90-degree position. Okay, so we're going to get that lined up and start going back together with it. Okay, in reverse order here. So we've dropped this in here. We're back in place. See, it's sitting down inside its holder. That's that wiring harness I was telling you to be very careful about. That one right there. It's very doable. Just be very gentle. Don't rush it. Rushing it to try and save time or frustration, or because you're frustrated, will cost you money and hours and hours and hours of other repairs. So don't do it. Alright, this stuff here, these little clips, drop right into here. It's as simple as 10 cuss words. Alright, so that's going to pop into here. And the other side, your top here, you see you got these little wings that go into here. Take the time to line them all up and get them all in. And that side just fell in. This side's going in. And I'm just going to have to work at it. And like I see, you got these little clips here. When you're popping these out, remember to grab hold. And when we came out, we popped it out here. Alright, so just work that back in. Take your time, go back and forth, go around. Don't rush it. I'm doing this one-handed, and it's just a few-minute job to get that part back on. The whole thing is probably half an hour to do the whole job. Maybe an hour if these clips are being difficult releasing. Take the time to get them out in one piece. They will fight you. This one, you see, came out a little, it actually bent over, so I'm going to have to straighten this back down so it'll still clip and hold in there. It's a lot of plastic, and they don't always want to release. So just so you understand, this whole side piece clips in there. And, you know, in retrospect, I didn't have to even take it out. So keep that in mind. So with this 7mm wobble, this thing will focus today. Only does this when I need it to. Alright. So, going back in, first put the screw in there. You need to start with your fingers, just like when you took it out. Take it out most of the way, then use your fingers to take it out the rest of the way, or if you don't have a wobble, you're going to have to use a little wrench or whatever you can to remove that. It's not very tight. And next video I will have my light fixed. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to tighten it up with the nut driver here and go do the other side. Okay, so we've popped this piece back down. We plugged in the drive function control and park reverse sensor control plug, and the plug for the light and shift location indicator. We plug those back in, snap this all back down. Now on our shift boot, time to put it back in. If you'll see your plug there, pull the boot back out of the way. Remember the boot will clip into here. These pieces will slide into there. The clip, I pushed it back up into its spot so it's fully seated. It's ready to re-engage. Alright, let's see if we can do this one-handed here. And we're back in. And see, and give it a good test, and hopefully it's going to work. And then if you pull that up, hopefully you saw that cool action there. We're back together. Alright, going back together, time to test it. Okay, just fired it back up here. Put everything back how I found it. All kind of crammed in there. Put the cup holder back in here. You're just sitting there with your trash bag. They had these cool little side inserts here that are actually kind of nifty. And this one here, and they got stuff back in, and I'll dig out some more stuff. Kind of cool, not to slide their seats up, and kind of cool little phone holder. And let's see, those lights appear to be working. We're going to check everything that they turn on and turn off. And let's see. Okay, yep, there's our sport mode. They call that winter mode, and I think this is called, come on, scope. It's not going back. I broke it. Alright, oh, there it goes. Okay, so we're back in driving mode. Alright, so we have our indicators there. Let's go ahead and reverse. Hey, complete backup camera. And I am just working in the warehouse side of things today. I'm not out in the shop. They are really busy out there. Neutral. Drive. Low. Make sure everything goes in the right position. We don't have our chime going on. Maybe I have to turn it off before it does that. Okay, let's come back down here. And I wanted to see if it was going to let me go through the ranges here. Okay, so here's low 1, low 2, low 3, low 4. Just making sure all my functions are working. I checked them before I started. 9, there's all 9 gears. In case you're wondering, if you haven't ever looked, it's a 9-speed transmission in the Chevy Blazer. I don't know what the other ones are. Okay, so that's good there. Alright, and the safety function operates as well. So all work seems to be verified. Now if we turn it off, it's only going to chime that the doors are open, if it even does that. And I got the parking brake on, so let's take the parking brake off.